Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the last video in the Love and Money series. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about when you are choosing a partner, whether or not you should consider love or should you consider money. How do you determine what's more important? If you want to take it back to our grandparents, and for some of you it might even be your parents, a lot of times women more so married for financial reasons. 9 times out of 10 as a woman you were groomed to be a nurturer, a mom, and the man was the person who went out and brung home the bacon pretty much. Now today is 2017. A lot of women are the breadwinners, and women are more willing to walk away from situations because they don't necessarily need the man for money per se. Now as a woman, even though you might not be looking for a man for financial reasons, finances still plays a big role, I believe, in choosing your partner. My friends and I used to joke about marrying a sugar daddy or marrying some old man who could pay off our student loans and stuff like that. But it's all jokes. But when you are choosing to date someone, finances should come up early on in the conversation, because I do believe that 2 people should be financially compatible before choosing to merge lives. As I mentioned in another video, you have to know what your financial deal breakers are, and also the same way you look for certain qualities in a man, like him being faithful or him being determined, ambitious, you have to figure out what kind of qualities in a man do you want when it comes to your finances. Now, when I think about marriage, I do think about, it being a strong bond, a covenant that is made under God and is meant to be taken seriously. Now, in today's world, a lot of people get married and it's just like, oh, if it doesn't work out, we could just get divorced. Now, clearly divorce is there for a reason, but I wouldn't want to enter into a situation already thinking about, if this doesn't work out, then I'll just sign some papers and then I'll be single again. I want to make sure that I'm taking the necessary steps and precautions to make sure that when I do it right, and hopefully I don't ever have to do it again. And for me, that means knowing what it is that you make, how do you handle your money, and whether or not you and I are financially in sync. Now, the big question is, should you marry for love or money? And my answer to that is you need a good balance of both, because you can marry somebody who is financially well off, but they cheat on you, they don't come home at night, they're mean, things like that. And should you stay just because they make good money? But at the same time, you can meet someone who is very nice, compassionate, worships the ground you walk on, but just can't get it together financially. And to me, those are 2 extremes when you think about the spectrum that we're talking about here. So if you find someone who meets in the middle, I believe having a good balance of both would make for a better relationship. Now, let me make this disclaimer. Just because a person makes more money than you doesn't mean that they are of a higher position than you, or that they are more financially well off than you are. Don't get it twisted. There are people making 6 figures who are still broke. It's all about managing what you have and making sure that you keep more than what goes out. So this is why it's important to dig deep, because just because he makes 6 figures don't mean he has money in the bank, doesn't mean all his bills are paid on time, doesn't mean he has a good credit score. And these are just things that I'm naming that might be important to you, but these are things that you should be thinking about and considering when you just hear, ooh, he makes X amount of dollars, and you thinking that you hit the jackpot. What this all boils down to, and I think I've talked about it in other videos, is that you shouldn't necessarily be depending on your partner to support your lifestyle. When you are merging lives or you are deciding to be with someone, it should be because they complement you, not because you're looking for someone to complete you. And that's the same when it comes to money. So for me, let's say for an example, when I meet someone, yes, I want to know how much money you make and I want to know what you do with that money. And clearly I'm not going to ask like that. But yes, we are going to have the money conversation, and I'll date you if you make less money than me, because let's be honest, I have a ton of student loans, so he can make less money than me but be better off than me because maybe he doesn't have the kind of debt that I have. So I want to see what it is that you're doing with your money, because as long as you are financially responsible and you are able to handle yourself and then also handle what we become as a union, then I'm okay with that. But I just have to be sure. Now, because nothing is 100%, that's where you come in and making sure that your financial ish is together. So yes, I want to make sure that I am dating someone who is financially on the same level as me, but I also want to make sure that if he decides to say peace, see you later, I can handle myself and I can pay my own bills. I can take care of myself. If I have children, I can take care of my children. You understand what I'm saying? That's where the FU funds come in. Making sure that if tomorrow your partner woke up and said, I gotta go, you aren't stranded. Or if you're in a situation where you need to go, and it could be financially abusive, domestic violence. These are real situations where women feel stuck and feel like they can't leave because they don't have the means to. But when you have that FU fund and you're making your own money and you're able to support your own lifestyle, you can then leave a situation that means you no good anymore. Now, the last piece I want to talk about when it comes to marrying or dating for love or money is the struggle piece. Struggling is not romantic. I don't understand why we romanticize struggle and we think that it's cool to say, yeah, we started from the bottom and we drug our way through. Now, if that's literally your reality, okay. But you have to be very careful not to take on what I like to call projects. So what's a project? That's when you meet someone and they don't have it together, financially they may be all over the place, and you think that you could come in and save a hoe. You find yourself wanting to save this person, but then it's like you're doing all the work. You're the one pulling the credit report, writing the letters to the credit bureau. You find it that you're the one filling out the job application so this person could get a better job. Like, just be careful. There's a difference between helping somebody and then trying to full-blown repair something that is just damaged. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't give your assistance when or where it's needed, but it's all about having discretion. It's easier to help someone who wants to help themselves versus you trying to create something out of someone that just really isn't there. And I can tell you, even if you are better off, if you are with someone who just does not care and they are just struggling and they don't care to get better, eventually you will find yourself struggling too. And struggling ain't fun. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to make more money. It's nothing wrong with being financially responsible. It's nothing wrong with wanting to have your ducks in a row and to just have your financial ish together. So if you find that you are with someone who is just not on the same page with you and they are just not trying to do better, maybe that's not the person for you. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. And as I always say, if you have any questions or something I said you may feel is debatable, please leave me a comment and let me know. It's nothing wrong with having healthy discussions and healthy debates. This ends the Love and Money series, and next week we'll be touching on some new topics. If you do have any topics that you specifically would like to be discussed, please leave me a comment. Also, share, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. See you later.